Hello again, everyone. So it's been a while. It really has. I spent a lot of the holiday season getting some much needed rest and spending that time with my family. That time of year is pretty much the only time I get off work, and so I wanted to make the most of it. Now, I did a few recordings back in late November and early December, and the speed build for the haunted house and the Reaper's Rewards was one of them. I enjoyed how the renovation turned out and wanted to share it. So let's hop into the speed build. So this build is a renovation I did for the Reaper's Reward series, and it was just before Life and Death came out. I will be playing into this house more off-screen, meaning you probably won't be seeing the gameplay in this house, but I will be revisiting the family a bit later on to explore the Life and Death expansion pack. So the beginning, I started out with just kind of like redesigning the floor plan a little bit. I wanted to give this family a bit more space. I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of turn that into an office space or a dining room. I added an upstairs and kind of like rearranging the furniture here and trying to match the additions to the rest of the exterior. I did end up making this room the dining room instead. Now, some of the things are kind of like different in the final screenshots of this, and I added just like very small little things like carpets and pictures from the Life and Death expansion pack at the end. Here, I'm kind of renovating the kitchen a little bit, seeing if I can add a few more things. And I originally was thinking of maybe putting the seance table in that like office space, and I ended up kind of moving it back outside. I didn't really like how it turned out. You can see I kind of moved it back. And so here, I'm kind of like rearranging the exterior items of the house. I wanted to try to hide the trash can. And so I kind of like added some additional foliage and redid the landscaping a little bit to try to like, conceal it a little bit better. Oh yeah, I decided to give them a cat because I wanted a cat in the family here. I felt like, you know what, she's been by herself for long enough. This house is meant for Robin, which is the sim I used for the Reaper's Reward series. She has been through a lot, and so I wanted to give her more space. And I think here, yeah, I was kind of like questioning my life a little bit with the angled room down there. I did actually end up squaring it out because roofing those types of like jut out pieces can be kind of challenging. I actually ended up doing this interesting thing with the skylights later on, which I actually really ended up liking. It's using like the roof pieces, like the clear roof pieces. Yeah, I originally thought of using like those other types of roof pieces, and I was struggling too much, so I decided to just square it out. I will be the first person to say that I'm not the best builder in the world. I like furnishing Sims houses, but building I'm not as good at. Let's just put it that way. So here I started experimenting with those like skylights, and I really liked how those looked a lot, especially in like the copper tone. It kind of made it more like rusty. And here I am putting another one on the top. So that ended up actually being a baby room. Later on in the screenshots, you'll see that Robin is pregnant, and so I made like a kind of nursery in the upstairs. I was also thinking of maybe mashing the like metal roof, and I ended up changing it back to the skylights. So I originally was using like the storybook nursery kit, and I was actually kind of frustrated with it. A lot of the swatches didn't match exactly, and especially like to the changing table. And I thought that was very interesting. I'm not really sure why they did that, especially like the primary furniture pieces. And so it was interesting to kind of like experiment with this nursery kit in that regard. Here, yeah, this shelf. The shelf and the changing table both didn't really have like matching green swatches. And so they have like the default black, they have like black and gold, but some of the other types of swatches they didn't really have. I actually really enjoyed building this just because I don't feel like I usually build things this dark. It's kind of like an interesting style, right? And not one that I typically use in my regular Sims play. Now, with the skylight, especially in this nursery section, I didn't like how you can kind of see it there. The roofing wasn't like, it didn't show through. And so I ended up doing this little trick here with the roofing to try to make sure that the bathroom and the hallway still had like ceiling tiles. And so I just added a little additional roof piece here to make it much more like an actual skylight, and that really worked very well. So this is gonna be Robin's new room, and I also struggled with this one. I do like building small houses, but this one was kind of cutting it close in terms of space. I liked those little like the ceiling stars from the oh, what was it? I think it was the Love Struck pack. I thought that those were so cool and really pretty, but I did end up removing them. They didn't really like suit the build very much, but I was trying to make it work. I don't know if I was just bothered by how the curtains sat so high above the window, but whenever you looked at it from the street view, like the roof awning would kind of clip and cover the edge of the window, and I didn't really like that. So I did end up kind of keeping the rearrangement of the furniture very like this. Like how it's kind of positioned against the wall there with the window on the side. I did kind of like how it looked against the window wall though. And here, an upstairs bathroom. I was sick of the downstairs bathroom only having a tub. I was tired of it. Oh yeah, and here you can kind of see the like the balloon piece. I was trying to find a way to like sneak in a light. I didn't want to visibly see the hanging light bulb, so I ended up kind of like sneakily placing it inside the hot air balloon, and you can't even tell that it's in there, which was nice to know. I think this is getting close to kind of wrapping up here though. I'm just adding a bit more like cracks and breaks and things just to give it much more of a like haunted vibes. And here I'm just finishing up adding a few paintings around, and we'll cut back into the screenshots. So this is the exterior of the house. It looks pretty cool. I couldn't help but take this photo of Gaidri next to the no ghost sign, some of her items from the Reaper's Rewards, and this is the dining room that ended up turning out interesting. I ended up getting a beautiful shot of the litter box, unfortunately. Here's the office. This is taken at nighttime, so none of the lights are on, but I really liked how the sunlight came out. You can see the moonlight kind of like shining through the roof there. It looks really cool. This is Robin's finished room. Again, kind of moving in some of her creepy items. You can see the life and death rug and picture frames, and the final nursery, where you can also see the sunlight there. This was the first speed build I've ever uploaded on my channel, so I'm not quite sure how I want to like edit them yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week and had a beautiful holiday season, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye everybody!